I want you to close your eyes now. Close your eyes. Close. Close. Just for a few seconds. And raise your hands if you feel love for your country. You may open your eyes now. A little reminder, this happened because we all love our country. Yes, we were angry, we were feeling helpless, we thought we had enough of what was going on, but most importantly, we felt enough of ourselves not being able to do anything but just complain.
Deep inside, our driver was one emotion. That emotion that moved us once, but out of that emotion, an idea was born. An idea which moved us deeply, leading us to move thousands, then 10,000s, who shared the same basic emotion. Almost 50,000 people moved with us, Vote and Beyond, Oy ve Ötesi, during the past 6 months. Our idea was to engage people around one cause, that was vote, and that was like one of the most mightiest examples of democracy.
The vote, the idea. Everybody here knows that an idea is something, but making it happen, embody it, is everything. So it was 8 of us. We started working around that idea to motivate people to vote and to watch for their votes. It was October, we were 8. By December, maybe some 20. And by December 15th, it was 100 people of us who registered to be volunteers to watch for our votes. So we were feeling enthusiastic. Okay, let's call for the university, talk to the club leaders, and then call for an event. And then we called for the university students. We organized a hotel room. Everybody accepted our invitation. They confirmed the invitation. And it was by the end of December, out of 100 university students, only 3 came. Not that they were demotivated, because that was most probably their final exams were going on and so on. And so, okay, it was a bit scary because we had 2 months ahead of us to call for more than 30,000 people to watch their votes in Istanbul only. But were we demotivated? No. Journalists wrote about us. And then that day, it was January 9th, 1,000 people registered. A little more than 1,000, but 1,000 people registered. And then it followed by other journalists writing about us, and thousands followed thousands. So as people gathered around one cause, and we became so crowded, journalists kept on writing about us. You can just experience the potential energy around that one idea evolved into a kinetic energy. Then that became a real move.
We were a handful of people in the beginning, but we were friends, we were connected to each other, and then we were eager to move and to move others. And then who were these 8 people? Were we activists at all times?
No.
Were we students?
No.
We were actually people from like ordinary corporate backgrounds, maybe boring, call it, with families, with friends, with like lovers, with children, like we had our own lives. But at some point, we felt we had to do something and move out of our comfort zone. Because in comfort zones, nothing really happens other than this, we said.
You all know that animal. We love that animal.
So we used our skills, our experience. For example, our 2 business consultant friends turned this idea into a project, a very well-structured project with concrete goals, time plans, and everything. And then our very well-connected friends reached out to people, made people hear about us. They moved the journalists, they moved the PR people, the opinion formers.
Yeah, I used to practice yoga 2 hours a day, maybe sometimes 20 hours a weekend. So I always keep myself away from the poison, which I think now is all around us, from the news and all various mediums that are pouring down onto us. But then Gezi happened, and of course I was there. I was running on the field, and I thought myself that I have to do something mindful, not as an apolitical or a political person, but as an individual. So for those of you who practice yoga, you know what the power of intention means. So when you set your intention, your dream or your will actually comes to you. So I met this stranger suddenly, and he asked me, if you want to work with a bunch of brilliant people who are aiming to beautify the environment that we're living in. And that's how I met Ötesi people. They were 6 then, brilliant people, radiant people. They had this idea, and they were naively enthusiastic about this idea, yet they were awesomely aggressive, and they knew what they were doing. So, and I thought to myself, what yogic can be then trying to build a platform where people like us, like all of us, can shape the good for democracy. So I joined and started molding the idea all together, and by December 4th, we rolled it out.
So my story is a bit different because it was my interest in politics that pushed me to study law. But then I was in this corporate environment doing M&A law, not really feeling like this is it. And then with all this going on in the country, I felt like there had to be more. And it was on Sunday, April 6, 2013. It was 10 p.m. It was a Sunday. I was sitting on the sofa with my husband, and I'm looking at the Twitter, and I hear like a high school friend of mine got arrested. He was on the jury of the Istanbul Film Festival that year. And he was arrested for making a protest about Emek sineması. So I was like, that's it. So I told my very surprised husband, I'm going to Beyoğlu police station now. So that's my first interaction with the police as a lawyer then, having practiced for 10 years, first interaction, police, court, everything. So it continued with the 1st of May, and of course during the Gezi in June 2014. It was my father who called me on June 1st, 2014 during Gezi. He said like a bit, I hear it in his voice, he's a bit scared about me. He asks me, where are you? I tell him I'm at the courthouse. Sudden pause, followed by a scream, oh my God, did they get you as well? I'm like, no father, remember I'm a lawyer. And he's like, all right, cool. So, but that was it really. It was like, I remembered I'm a lawyer and I can maybe actually do something more than doing the corporate work. I can actually do maybe more than that. So, and then this is exactly at that point, after that point that I met my Ötesi friends. And when I was looking for something further to do than this, it was again on a Sunday. I was asked if I could help them to organize the lawyers of Istanbul to join this cause and to get the support of Istanbul Bar again for our cause. And it was one visit with them to my former college professor and head of Istanbul Bar to ask for his support. And I was in love with the idea, and I was like, that was the move I was looking for. And then that moved me, and I became a part of the team.
And there are IT developer friends who joined us, and they worked on a state-of-the-art IT system, who now everyone actually wonders how we did it in such a few days, and how much it costs. The question was actually like that. I mean, they always wonder how much, what we do, how much it costs, and so on. And the answer is very basic. It costs your time and absolutely no money, because these people took the lead to design this IT system, the registration, the vote counting system, because they they wanted to act on their dreams that one day their families, their children will be living comfortably in this country that they love so much, and this was priceless for them. And moving on, until the election day, we engaged the figures, always the figures. We engaged more than 20 journalists, and this lady became one of our volunteers. And we reached 200,000 people through social media in one day. And during some days, we had more than 50,000 clicks on our website, and we reached, in total, 50,000 people.
We organized around 1,000 lawyers in Istanbul to join our cause, to help train volunteers to be with us on the election day.
We organized trainings, and it took more than 200 hours of training times for people to get organized, to get to know each other, to be ballot pros. And you know what? It takes a lifetime to master in yoga, and 10 hours to properly drive a car, and 6 years to be fluent in your second language. And actually, for an individual to be a ballot pro, it takes only 2 hours. And these 50,000 people were eager to learn how to watch their ballot, so they took the time and joined us.
And became ballot pros.
And ballot pros, yes.
And these ballot pros on March 30th, they got up around 4 a.m. on a Sunday morning from their warm beds. Some pulled cars to travel to remote districts of Istanbul. Everyone made it to their assignment areas by 6 a.m. in the morning. All day long, they stood up during the votings. They watched, they objected, they fought, they objected. They became the advocates of the cause until 5 p.m. After 5 p.m. it wasn't over. They watched over the counting of the votes until later at night. That wasn't still over until finally they made sure the votes made it to the vote collection centers at around midnight. They never gave up, never left. They made sure the mission was accomplished.
And our field force was mighty. And a part of that, some of us were working on in the office. The call center was working 24 hours. And I think it was 5 a.m. the next morning. The phone rang in the call center, and then a woman crying on the phone. Literally, she was crying and very tired. You can see, you can all understand. I mean, it has been 36 hours of adrenaline altogether. So she was crying and she was asking for help. Why? Because as you can see, a bit, light is a bit, whatever. She was sitting on the sack of her 300 votes because some guy in İlçe Seçim Kurulu, the election center, was unreasonably insisting not to get her votes in. So she was helping, and this guy, this is our hero, Sinan, one of our co-founders, he got up, and then he went to Firuza High School, where the lady is, and he helped her to get her 300 votes in that night. So there were a lot of people like her sitting on the sacks and watching for her vote, his votes. These are the people, 50,000 people, who were the gatekeepers for the democracy. Okay.
These people moved, so they pushed their limits, they pushed their physical limits, they pushed their time constraints. They moved through the difficulty of running a career, a family, a life, and then all of this, and then put an activist spice on top of everything. And on June 1st, after the elections of March 30th, maybe you will remember that elections of Yalova were cancelled and they were repeated on 1st of June. So these ballot pro people again moved to Yalova, 300 of them, and repeated the drill of March 30th in Yalova. And you know what happened in Yalova? In Yalova, there were only 200 ballots, so it's a small city repeating only the election of the mayor. And the result of the election was determined by only around 200 votes. So on that day, every objection that we filed, every little vote we saved for one party or the other, regardless of which party, actually did have a direct impact on the result of the election. So So that was even more motivation for us and our volunteers.
And August 10th elections, we reached for the 6 biggest cities of Turkey, so we can have an eye on the 40% of total votes. And people from Ankara, Antalya, Adana, Izmir, Bursa, they all welcomed us. In fact, an 80-year-old lady, again, reached us. She didn't call us, but she reached us, and she told us that she was feeling uncomfortable with the internet, so she couldn't register, but she wanted to watch the ballot. So there you can see an 80-year-old woman trying to come out of her comfort zone, and because she can't use the internet. And so we helped her get her to her ballot, 6 a.m. in the morning. She was there counting her vote till 8 p.m. in the evening. We all moved. Why? Because we love our country. Basically, it's because of that. We feel the necessity of changing the course of going. We know that it won't happen at a blink. That's very important. So this is a sustainable thing. We wanted to get people involved in this because it's no more a one-way communication with the state.
It's a different form of communication. It's not a relationship where you actually pay your taxes and then go on with your life, complain from time to time, but like still do nothing. This now has to be a two-way communication where we should have a right to say something about our votes. And we should be protecting our votes and watching our votes. And then we'll be experiencing our individual and then mass impact, collective impact altogether.
Vote and Beyond is that platform which gave the right sound, the right note, which you can tune your mind and your actions in, and ask to our 50,000 volunteers. They would say, most probably, it was simply the right sound, and maybe they started resonating around that right sound and became massive in solidarity.
So these people there, we were all different people from different backgrounds, different socioeconomic groups, different cities in August 10th. But we all unified in one verse: wake up and have an impact, don't sit and complain.
And this became our universe. Oy ve Ötesi became our universe. And the move is still going on. It will go on. When we don't elect, we come together and meet about our future projects, city by city, district by district, from only 6, 8 passionate people from different backgrounds to thousands, yet they feel the same emotion, they think alike. Now we want to reach further and move farther away. God knows how many more will be willing to move with us if we can only make them hear our voice.
We want to reach out to more universities, have more students work with us. We want to combine the efforts of maybe law clubs, associations of the universities with the theater clubs and do things like that. We want to move the bar associations of different cities, not only these 6 cities. In short, actually, we want to move farther away. We want to go beyond the vote. And people have been asking what is beyond the vote. Keep watching. Beyond. It will be coming right up very soon. And will you move with us?
With us?